Hey, how's it going? This is Haxer492. I'm doing a quick audio check. We're going to start Linux from scratch intro video number 2 in about a minute. I'll probably cut this out from the stream. And just checking my stream latency and my audio. I'm monitoring it from another laptop to make sure I don't do this all without making sure I don't do all this and lose and realize that my audio wasn't coming through the entire time, which has happened. I think we're good to go. Okay. Let's dive right in. If you haven't watched the first video, it's like 28 minutes long. If you're watching this and it's far in the future, right now it's May 2024. Hopefully by then I've redone that first video or I've broken the intro in multiple other smaller segments. If you're watching this though and you want to check out the first video, it's intro-1. Each video in this series is numbered 1 through however many there end up being. So easier way for you to chronologically work through the series. Also in the first intro video, we talk a little bit about who this is for, why you might be interested in this, why not, if it's for you or not, and then why I'm creating this series for myself and for other viewers. In the last video, we went over the preface of the Linux from Scratch book. And I just now noticed this version 12.1 of the book was just published March 1st, 2024. So it's regularly updated since 1998. Their website says 1998. This says 99. Gerard Beekmans. Again, Mr. Gerard Beekmans, thank you so much for your contribution to the Linux and community and the world. And to myself and for viewers out there discovering the work that you've done. And real quick to viewers, I have not been through this book. I've perused it. That's the right word, right? I've perused it a little bit. Something I've always wanted to dive into. And so you'll be learning right along with me. And so let's go. Intro 1, how to build a Linux from scratch system. The Linux from scratch system will be built by using an already installed distro, such as Debian, Mandriva, Fedora, OpenSUSE. The existing system, the host, will be used as a starting point to provide necessary programs like a compiler, linker, shell to build a system. In other words, what are you going to build your system on if you're not, it's chicken egg problem, right? So you got to be using like a Debian distro or others, obviously, to start development on your Linux from scratch system. And an alternative to installing a separate distro is to use like a live CD or like a live USB stick, which is really handy. When I have a couple different ones, I just plug it in, boot from there. I've got like I have like a USB stick, only has 8 gigs on it, and it fits most distros. And I mean, today you can purchase a 64 gig USB stick, and like, I mean, I've seen too, there's like terabyte USB sticks. So a lot can be done there, especially if you have a slower hard drive or a hard drive that isn't that big and you want to keep your work separate from your main operating system, or if you're on a Windows system and you want to run a distribution isolated from your Windows machine. Chapter 2 of this book describes how to create a new native partition where your system will be compiled and installed. Chapter 3 explains which packages and patches must be downloaded to build your system and store them on the new file system. Chapter 4 discusses the setup of an appropriate working environment. Read Chapter 4 carefully. Note to self. as it explains several important issues you should be aware of before you begin to work your way through Chapter 5 and beyond. Chapter 5 explains installation of the initial tool chain. 6 shows you how to cross-compile basic utilities. Cross-compile, so you want to distribute your system, or maybe you're just building it for yourself and you're only going to run it on your main machine. You're going to build that for your specific CPU architecture. This effort to isolate the new system from the host distribution may seem excessive, but a full technical explanation as to why this is done is provided in the toolchain technical notes. That'll probably be a whole set of videos right there where we'll walk through that. In Chapter 8, the full-blown system is built. So there'll be, it's going to be a journey to get to Chapter 8. I'm going to make Chapter 8 a milestone. Definitely a milestone. Another advantage provided by the change root environment is that it allows you to continue using the host system while your system's being built, and you can continue, so you can continue using your computer as compilation continues. The basic configuration is set up in Chapter 9, and the kernel and bootloader are created in 10 and 11. I'm just reading this. This is the process in a nutshell. Detailed information on each step is prevented. Detailed information in each step, hopefully it's not prevented, is presented in following chapters. Items that seem complicated now will be clarified, and everything will fall into place as you commence on your LFS adventure. So let's commence together on our LFS adventure. Again, thank you, Mr. Gerard Beekman. Here's a list of the packages updated since the previous release. I encourage you, if you're watching this sometime in the future, come here. I guarantee there's probably newer versions. So some of these updated packages these versions are not going to be the same. Here's the changelog for the book itself. Here's some resources. If during the building of your system, there is an FAQ at linuxfromscratch.org FAQ. There's a mailing list. There is, you can subscribe to their mailing list to get news and updates. There's an IRC channel, hashtag LFS support. And the IRC network is on IRC Libera chat. There is contact information for questions and comments on the LFS mailing list. Help. In case you've hit an issue building one package with the LFS instruction, we strongly discourage posting the issue directly onto the upstream support channel before discussing with the support channel listed in resources. Doing so is inefficient because the maintainers are really familiar with the building procedure. So they're saying, don't blow up their, you shall at least note that many upstream projects have the support channel separated from the bug tracker. The bug reports for asking questions are considered invalid and may annoy upstream. That's what I'm saying. Don't annoy these hardworking contributors. If an issue or question is encountered while working through the book, please check out the FAQ page. If you cannot find your problem listed in FAQ, search the mailing list. They have a wonderful community willing to offer assistance through the mailing list. Things to mention, apart from a brief explanation of the problem being experienced, any request for help should include these essential things. If you're watching the video, remember this, come here, look through these things, go through this chapter 1 intro on how to seek help, how not to seek help. Deviating from the book does not mean that we will not help you. That's nice of them. After all, LFS is about personal preference. Being upfront about any changes to the established procedure helps us evaluate and determine possible causes of your problem. Configure script problems. If something goes wrong while running the configure script, review the config.log file. It may contain errors encountered during configure, which were not printed to the screen. Include the relevant lines if you need to ask for help. Again, if you're following along and you going through the series and you're building your own Linux from scratch, you run into problems, remember to come back here, go to the book, review this, read along, decide the best path forward for yourself. I'm at 10 minutes already. This is going to be a longer one. I'm going to work diligently to cut these down, but I feel like right now we're just going to keep on moving on this video and get through this section. It's very important. If you have compilation problems, both the screen output and contents of various files are useful in determining the cause of compilation problems. The screen output from the configure script and the make run can be helpful. It is not necessary to include the entire output, but do include all the relevant information. Here's an example of the type of information to include from the make screen output. So again, you need help, follow these directions, include pertinent information in your query to the support channels. All right, moving on, preparing for the build. And you know what? We're just going to call this one here, and we're going to start right back off video intro, video 3, preparing for the build. And I'll probably put in there, for this intro, it's like, how to seek help from the support channel LFS team. All right, I'll see you in the next one.